Welcome into Dynasty Trading Room. Does the start to your Dynasty season have you down? Are you not in the position you thought you'd be before the season started? Well, don't worry, that's part of Dynasty. I'm here to give you all of the moves that you need to become an efficient rebuilder and get yourself back to contention sooner than later. Stick with me here while I take you through 5 strategies to absolutely dominate your rebuild and get back to that contending stage. All right, the first thing that you need to do as a Dynasty rebuilder is go ahead and sell those aging running backs. Now, this is probably a little bit obvious, but it needs to be stated. Running backs in fantasy football, Dynasty in particular, can become so valuable. The production at the position is just so scarce. Whereas wide receivers, there's 3, 4 on every team that are getting targets every game. At running back, you have 1, maybe 2 that have any value on each team. So it is very hard to find production at the position. Add in injuries and the uncertainty that can come with that, and contenders are always looking for additional depth. They want to improve their running back 4, their running back 5 even on their team. So they're going to want the players that you have on your team at running back. Now, those are the obvious candidates here, the Saquon, Derrick Henry, CMC, these elite producers that are at the end of their career. Obviously, these are guys that all rebuilders want to sell. They're much more valuable in their final years to contenders than they are to you rebuilding. If anything, they're just hurting your draft slot. It's the less obvious guys that I really want to highlight, though. Guys like Jonathan Taylor, who's had a great start to the season, but he's going to be a lot more valuable to these contenders. You don't know how long he has left in his career. He's not too old. He's still got a few years left. But are you going to waste one of maybe 2 or 3 productive years left having him sit on your roster that's not making the playoffs? No, that's not smart. Go ahead, trade him away. And if you need 1, 2 years from now, when you are back to the contention table, go ahead and trade for him again. You're going to get him for cheaper because he's older. Once he's 28, 29, 30 years old, then you don't pay that premium of keeping him on your roster while you're rebuilding. Other guys in that category, David Montgomery, very good RB2. He's the kind of guy that teams love to trade for as soon as they have a running back injury because he's just consistent, he's reliable, he's going to get you points. Josh Jacobs as well. He's another one who he's a buy for contenders for me. I think he's going to be really good this season, but that doesn't help you if you're rebuilding. You want future production, not production right now. Now, the second tip for rebuilding your Dynasty squad, and I think this may be the most important one, is to accumulate 2026 draft picks. Now, we're seeing a very weird phenomenon in the Dynasty space right now, where 2027 picks are actually valued higher than 2026 picks. This should not be happening. 2026 picks are going to appreciate wildly once draft season comes around. It happens every single year. People fall in love with these prospects. So even if you think the 2027 class is going to be stronger with some of those big names, go ahead and accumulate 2026 picks right now. And then when draft season comes around, they're going to be way more valuable. People are going to fall in love with Jordan Tyson or Fernando Mendoza. I already have. And they are going to pay a premium for these picks. And you'll get a 2027 first plus for them. If you look at 2028, mid-first right now, they're about 85% of the value of a 2027 mid-first. That's normal. To have the 2027 first above the 2026 first, this is the clearest opportunity I have ever seen in Dynasty to gain value. Now, if you don't know who any of the players are in 2026, 2027, anyone in college, that's completely fine. Most don't. Our channel covers a ton of 2026 rookie content. We are always going to bring you stuff the earliest so that you have the information you need to make educated decisions. Go ahead and check out our channel if you'd like. We have a lot of 2026 content already, rankings, mock drafts, film study, and we're going to have a lot more as the season goes on. Right now, though, I can tell you this is a good QB class. I've got 3 QBs that are, for me, top 10 picks in the NFL draft and could even be in the top 3 of the NFL draft. I would not be surprised to see at least 2 quarterbacks in the top 3 of next year's draft. There's also plenty more that could be in this first round. Even if I don't have them there, the Dynasty community, the draft community in general, has a lot of QB prospects in their first round. NFL mock draft database right now has 7 QBs projected in the first round. Now, I don't think it's going to be that high, but it just shows the depth of this class and how many QBs have a chance to be in that conversation. Now, if you look at the NFL QB landscape, there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and the veteran quarterback market for these journeyman kind of quarterbacks, it's really dying down. You have a lot of guys that are probably going to retire. You got like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and guys that just haven't turned out, like Justin Fields. Geno Smith has had a really bad season in Vegas. So I think there's at least 4 teams that absolutely no doubt need a quarterback. You've got the Jets, the Browns, the Saints, and the Steelers all need a future solution at quarterback, and there's not a whole lot of vets to go around to fill those spots. That means that you're going to have these rookie QBs right away starting. They're going to have value on your roster as starting quarterbacks very quickly. Those aren't the only teams that need quarterbacks either. You look at the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Rams, the Panthers, Seahawks, Colts, all these teams could use a quarterback for the future. This draft isn't just quarterbacks either. There's a couple really good running backs and wide receivers in this class. Jeremiah Smith, I think, is a lock to be a first-round pick, a day one NFL selection, and then an instant starter at the NFL level. Maybe he's not an Ashton Genty level prospect, a Bijan Robinson level prospect, but he is a great player that will come in and be good for fantasy right away. There's a couple others. Justice Haynes is one that comes to mind of a guy that's really rising up boards. I think we could see a couple of these guys be early day 2 picks and super valuable for fantasy. And I don't think this wide receiver class gets nearly enough credit. Jordan Tyson has been an absolute producer through college, and Mekhi Lemon is one of my favorite wide receiver prospects of all time. This guy's giving me flashes of Malik Neighbors as a prospect. There's just his production didn't necessarily match throughout his college career, but the skills always popped on film. Now the production is coming to match, very similar to what happened with Neighbors. This is a guy who I think should be a top 10 NFL draft pick and in contention for the 101 in your draft. That's not to mention some of the other guys. Elijah Surratt is a guy that's rising up boards and I really like. There's a couple different wide receivers that are starting to break out at the college level and will be high NFL draft picks as well. Don't let the 2027 talk distract you. You want the 2026 picks. Even if you don't draft someone with them, they are going to appreciate so much in value that buying them now is the easiest decision to make in Dynasty. Now on to my third tip, and that is to buy the next Odunze. Now what I mean by that is buying a breakout second-year wide receiver now who's looking like they're not living up to the billing. And we saw that with Odunze last year, very high draft pick. The Bears' offense wasn't quite meshing. He didn't take over right away as that wide receiver 1 like a lot of people thought he could, but there were still obvious flashes in his game. People have become way too enamored with this rookie breakout at wide receiver. It shouldn't be the expectation. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, these guys are not the norm. These are the exceptions. We're going to see a lot more guys through the years that are valued too low after their rookie year because they didn't have that instant breakout as if that's what's expected out of them. And they are going to have those breakouts in year 2, maybe even year 3. And you're going to see that you have a wide receiver 1 on your roster and you got them for way cheaper than that. Now, who I'm recommending in that role this year is Travis Hunter. We've seen people overreact pretty heavily to what we've seen through a few weeks. A few weeks of the NFL season is nothing for a rookie wide receiver. They usually start out slow. We've seen this with lots of wide receivers. Even Justin Jefferson, who had like 1,400 yards in his rookie season, got off to a slow start the first few weeks. Amon-Ra for the first half of his rookie season did pretty much nothing and then had a crazy second half, a league-winning second half. Now, Travis Hunter has a reason to be struggling early in the season. He hasn't had as much practice time as other guys. He splits his practice time between offense and defense. They're limiting him to mostly the slot on offense so that he can focus on that and not be overwhelmed with all the playbooks. Liam Cohen is known for having a complicated offense, lots of motion, complicated scheme. That's going to be something that's difficult for Travis Hunter when he's working on both sides of the ball actively. Now, after this season, he's going to have a whole NFL offseason. NFL players talk about this all the time, that their rookie season, it's all just new information. They don't have a lot of time to really ramp up. There's just too much going on with the draft process, the training camp, and rookie mini camp, and all these things going on that it's hard to really get a grasp of everything. Year 2 is when they've had a full offseason. They really have acclimated to the NFL-style offenses and to their offense. Liam Cohen is going to be around for the future. He will be there next year. So Travis Hunter will have more time to get used to this playbook, used to these schemes, and his role in this offense. Now, this may sound like I'm saying wait till the offseason to buy Travis Hunter, but I don't think that is where you need to be. I think he's going to have some breakout games the middle of this season, and you want to buy him before that happens. I don't think his value is going to get much lower than it is right now. People are already overreacting, calling him a full-time corner. Go ahead and grab Travis Hunter as soon as you can. Now, my fourth tip for you rebuilders is to go out and buy guys that aren't scoring points this year. Now, it's weird. You want to score points in Dynasty normally. In fantasy football, you want to have the most points. Well, not as a rebuilder. You want points in the future. You don't want points right now. Points right now are going to hurt your draft stock. They're going to mean you have a later pick. You don't want to finish 6th at the end of the season. You're happy to finish 10th, 11th, 12th in your league to get that top pick for next year. Now, who are some guys that aren't great this year? They're not going to score a lot of fantasy points, but in the future, they have great upside. Joe Burrow's the easiest guy to identify in this class. He is not going to score any points this year because he's injured. And next year, you still know he's Joe Burrow. This isn't an injury. This isn't like a shoulder injury that's going to linger and I'm worried about. This isn't a knee injury that's going to severely hurt his mobility. This is a toe injury. Yes, it sucks that it happened. He will be fully ready for off-season activities and he'll be back to full strength next year. Other guys in this class for me, Cam Ward. Not the best situation for a rookie quarterback, but I really like what I've seen from him. He's going to have a long leash. He's going to be the starter next year and beyond. And I think he'll probably have a better situation as well. Maybe we get an improvement at play caller. Callahan hasn't been great. Alec Iamaner is starting to break out. We have a really young class of rookie wide receivers for him, and just more time to build up the offensive line and the offense around him. Bashal Tutin is a great running back in this class of player. He, I think, is the running back of the future for the Jaguars. They loved him so much through the draft process. Travis Etienne has looked good for them. He's fitting into the scheme fine, but he's a free agent after this year, and it's unlikely that they bring him back running backs after their rookie contract like this, especially when you've drafted a rookie that you're really excited about. Not as common. So I think Tutin is someone who's going to rise significantly after this season. Ladd McConkey as well, veteran on the depth chart that's kind of taking touches from him is Keenan Allen. They play kind of similar roles, and while Ladd, to me, looks much better out there, I'm not worried at all about Ladd as the player. It's just that opposing defenses are eyeing in on him, and Keenan Allen is available, so you're going to throw it to Keenan Allen. As soon as Allen's gone, and he is getting towards the end of his career, I will not be surprised if he retires after this year. Once he is gone, then Ladd is back to being a target hog for this team. And one player on this list that I want to buy more than anyone else is Colson Loveland. People have gotten too used to these breakout tight ends early. We're seeing it again with Tyler Warren, but we just saw it with Bowers and Sam Laporta. That's not the norm, again, for the tight end position. It's normal for these tight ends to take some time to acclimate. That's even more the case with a team like Chicago that already has some very good receiving options on their team. You have DJ Moore, who's older. You have Rome Odunze, who's having that breakout. Even Cole Kmet, who's a veteran tight end who you don't need to replace right away as you get Loveland up to speed. I think Loveland will have some breakout games over the second half of this season, so you want to buy him earlier when people are still panicking, especially when they compare him to Tyler Warren's breakout early season start. But next year is when Loveland, I think, can truly shine. DJ Moore is a clear candidate to get traded, and that's a kind of guy that will vacate a lot of targets, and Colston Loveland will have more opportunity in this offense. Especially a year 2 Ben Johnson offense, I will be much more excited for. Now, my last tip for you Dynasty rebuilders is to trade away the vets that are going to lose some value after this season. This is an obvious one, but people don't think about it enough. They think the guys that are producing this year are going to produce into the future. Now, I'm not just talking about the 30-year-olds that are obviously going to drop off age-related, but also just guys that have maybe additional circumstances that are helping their production this year, but aren't necessarily going to be there in the future. Travis Etienne's one I mentioned already. I think Bashal Tutin will replace him eventually, but he's a good option for contenders right now. He gives depth at a position where contenders need it. So that's someone that you want to trade now. DJ Moore is another one I mentioned. I don't think he's going to have another wide receiver 1 spot in his career. He's still going to play a role in the future, but I think his highest value is right now. So as a rebuilder who's not looking for the points this season, he's someone that I'd be looking to move off of. Deebo Samuel, He's a great case of this. I think he is an awesome buy option for contenders this season, but for the future, I just don't see him having that same value. I think Terry McLaurin's going to come back, look great. Debo really relies on this athleticism. He's almost a running back out there, and we know that they age out earlier. So Debo might be looking closer and closer to an age cliff, even if he still has great value this year in a perfect scheme for him on that Commanders team. J.K. Dobbins, another starting running back that I think will be replaced by the younger, more explosive back behind him. R.J. Harvey has looked good in limited opportunities. He's been used as a pass catcher a lot. I think he's going to eventually eat into Dobbins' work more and more, especially after this season. I think Dobbins is a one-year trial for the Broncos while they get Harvey up to speed in the system, and then next year it will be Harvey's backfield, and Dobbins is probably just going to be a bounce around from team to team candidate. And last but not least, I mentioned him before, but Keenan Allen. Yes, this season he's fitting into a role perfectly. Teams are eyeing in on Ladd McConkey, and Keenan is getting lots of targets. But not only age-wise, I think he might just be retired. So as a rebuilder, you really want to move off that. There's no value in the future. But things are not going to always be this easy for him. Teams are going to adjust, and his volume is going to go down. He is not the same player he used to be, despite still being reliable. He needs someone like Ladd McConkey pulling a lot of attention away from him in the offense. So those are my 5 tips for you Dynasty rebuilders. Don't get demoralized. Rebuilding can be some of the most fun you have in your Dynasty leagues. There's less pressure to contend, and more you get to go and find those values and really dig into the 2026 rookie content, and that's the exciting stuff. Go find your guys in this class, and that's something we are going to help you do. We're going to provide you film studies on these 2026 prospects before pretty much any other channel, and we're already giving you regular rankings and updates as the college season goes on, so you can keep track of who's moving up, who's moving down, and who you want to target in your 2026 drafts. Go ahead and subscribe to get that 2026 Dynasty content, as well as more content this year on helping your team rebuild for the future.